okay, I've been avoiding this for ages because I don't, gaming stuff is touchy, but yeah, the attack on male gamers continues. Also, I'm not a huge thing for the way Sydney Watson talks or whatever. Just from the couple videos I've seen, I don't know much about her.
My opinion, I think that, I don't know, there's something a little bit childlike about it, a grown man to be playing games, and it is a huge turn off for me, and I'm bloody glad my man doesn't play video games.
I don't have anything meaningful.
Honestly, I don't like someone who doesn't play games. I think it's like, I kind of noticed I would prefer to date someone who likes anime too.
What are we even watching?
Because I went on a couple dates with someone who didn't like anime, and it was just, they were very snobbish about it. And I learned as I got older to never, like, go for someone who disparages your hobby. So, what killed me in America tier list? I love it.
Cool to say about this. I just want to tell her to shut up.
I don't know.
Hi, my name is...
I find, like, some of the stuff I watch, she takes things way too seriously for me. Like, I think I watched her do a ick list.
Sydney, welcome
Or
back
unless I'm thinking of someone else who has a similar face and haircut too.
to hell. And as per usual, before we launch in, today's video is sponsored by Menukora. And of course, by my company, Lions Tea Exchange. In addition to my regular wonderful flavors,
That's the thing, I don't think she'll be alone. She needs to find someone who just doesn't like to game. There's a lot of people who don't like gaming. There's a lot of people who don't like anime. Just go, you don't have to disparage it. Go find someone with similar hobbies to you. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like hiking and gym broness. Am I going to say I won't date someone like that? What does that mean, that they suck ass and they'll be alone forever? No, they'll find someone who likes the same thing as them.
Limited edition flavors that are now available on the site for pre-sale. I think they're all really good, but I am a huge fan of the peppermint white chocolate, but you guys seem to be really excited about the bourbon barrel chai. No surprises there. I also have these beautiful wooden gift boxes that are available too for pre-sale for the holiday season.
But I'm sorry, I know I'm supposed to like go something really extreme. Yeah, that woman's gonna die alone. YouTube's only for extreme opinions.
Generally, if you want
I've been doing it wrong.
box. And as you guys know, these are made here in the US of A, and the company that I work with plants a tree for
Exactly.
every
Anyone who's like, it's childish.
order placed, which honestly I think is pretty cool. I will link all of this in the description box.
I find the whole childish thing just a bit like of an oxymoron in general.
If you would like to support my channel and my tea company, it all means a lot, and I love you guys very much. Okay, back to the video. Now, I know I'm slightly late to this conversation.
Welcome in, I know you, goon.
Because it took place a couple weeks ago, but a lot of things were also happening during that time. Like the mystery of who is eating the cats.
They're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats.
And I needed to show you all.
They're eating the cats. Said I don't know, a lot of crazy shit online. Who say it's yeah, I feel like it is a bit of a projection next to they just have an idea that some things are better than other things because it's more adult and boring.
My breakdancing prowess, okay? Now, like I said, a few weeks ago,
Take her to the Olympics. Take her to the Olympics.
Or the debate, if you will, around
the attack on male gamers continues. Video. It's about someone saying gaming is childish or something. Even though women game too, so should be attack on gamer girls too. They're taking out gamer girls.
men playing video games being unattractive was once again resurrected. This has been going on for quite some time, but periodically someone somewhere for some reason brings it back up. And every time
But you have to realize too, I feel like this is more strong with women like disliking gaming because it's really hammered in that women gaming is childish too. Like, you should only do serious things.
Happens. It seems that people want to congregate around the idea that men playing video games is bad and gaming is bad overall. Say the people who probably like crocheting or something. Depressingly, when I
people who like crocheting, I don't care. I think crocheting is a fine hobby for some people, you know? But yeah, don't be a hypocrite. Everyone has their hobbies. Though I think hobbies that actually create stuff are fun, because gaming is fun, but I think it's always good to have a hobby that creates something. It feels you full of achievement. Kind of like when you are achievement hunting in video games, but you can physically hold it.
Started looking for videos on this issue. I actually came across this bizarre trend on TikTok where women say that their men being happy while playing games gives them the ick. So there's that.
Shut up, kill yourself.
Just
Happy or raging? I'd have to agree in the sense that if a guy is raging in his video game, it gives me the fucking ick that he's a rage knuckle. I think there is, like, fine things to get the ick about. Like, it's fine. Like, it's like if you walked in on your girlfriend and she's playing a game and she's murdering children and enslaving mankind, you would be like, okay, as you back out the door. Hello.
launch me to Jupiter at this point. Anyway,
Hey,
this time the
Hudson.
conversation started when conservative commentator Liz Wheeler posted a graph of the hobbies women reportedly find the least attractive.
This graph was debunked. Okay, fun fact. This graph was debunked. There was 4 separate of these that were made to rile up different hobby sections. So I did see this going around and this was debunked. A lot of people were suspect of this because taxidermy was too low. But video games was on the list, but lower than it is. It was actually around comic book collecting. And in there. So, I'll do a 360 after this video. But it was on the list, but it wasn't number 1. This was a debunked list.
At the top of the list was playing video games.
Above taxidermy. See, again, that's the suspicion everyone had. Taxidermy is too low. I'm suspect of this.
Followed by collecting
online
figurines.
trolling was high, though. But that's not a surprise, you have to imagine. A lot of people dislike people who are just assholes online.
Magic tricks, and online trolling. But apparently, we all love a good bird watcher. So that's a win for the birdophiles. I have absolutely no idea what
birdophiles.
bird enthusiasts are called. Birder. Well, at least that's memorable. I guess that's an improvement on what the trained people are called.
They don't like them in that way, guys. And a furry that likes birds is a feathery, I think.
Hooter tooters? This graph, which obviously is not based on real evidence, was posted along with
Exactly, yes. See, it was just some woman trying to make an extreme opinion to get views. And yeah, it was based on nothing.
Commentary, which read, "This is 100% true. Men playing video games is
Source,
peak."
trust me, bro. Every time I say something on the internet I know is based on nothing, I always just go, source, trust me, bro, instead of saying anything else because I can't be fucked.
Unattractive, beyond red flag, like deal breaker
Spin around
zone.
so you can see my tail and everything. I do a 360 spin of the outfit.
It's weird so many dudes don't get this. You want to know what I don't get? Why it's taken me so long to hear about the wonderful sponsor of today's video, Manukora. I have spent most of my adult life in search of sugar. I'm kind of like Smeagol from Lord of the Rings about it. Precious. And the older I get, the more that I realize sugar's not that good for you. But what if I told you there was a sweet alternative that tasted good and was good for you? Well, there is, and it's called Manukora. Manukora honey is pure, single-origin
The
Manuka
most
honey
expensive
found
honey that you'll ever buy, and it's exactly the same as honey.
only in New Zealand. It's rich, creamy, and supercharged with unique antioxidants and prebiotics. It actually has 3 times more than your average honey. So yeah, take that, normal honey. Manukora honey supports immunity, helps with digestion, boosts energy, and is great for assisting with inflammation. It's also
That's the thing. I think having a hobby is always good no matter what it is. I think it's good to have more than one because obsessive isn't great. But yeah, I do think gaming is more than just one thing nowadays. I do agree.
Beautiful golden color, and it's a definite game changer if you're anything like me and use honey in tea or on sandwiches. I also like how my little starter pack has this cute little spoon and these honey sticks, which could be completely cool if you're munching on the go. Best of all, Manukora honey has a natural...
Yeah, I love munching on honey on the go. Interesting. But okay, no, I saw these in New Zealand and these are like $50 a jar.
Bacterial compound called
What
MgO
the
that is
fuck?
only found in Manuka honey. The higher the MgO count, the higher the levels of nutrients and antioxidants.
Exactly. That's the thing. Oh, that's what I find so funny about the girls saying,
And Manukora has
oh, I I'll do my spin in between this. I want a guy that doesn't game, but their guy goes around way on like week-long dude fishing trips and stuff, and they want to be like, here's my bro weekend. I prefer a guy that will go in the room and game and then come out after than a dude who's gonna like go away every fucking weekend to do something. Like, hair? Like, okay. And honestly, why isn't collecting second families on the hobbies list? We've all seen a guy who has like a second, third family or something, even in this economy. That's the true worst hobby to have that's unattractive.
Some of the highest NGO honey on the market. And if you don't believe me, your Manukora lid has this little QR code that you can scan
well,
to
honey
trace
in general
your honey.
can. I don't think Manukura is any much more special.
And all its unique information, which I think is pretty cool. So if you too
Hobbies outside your VTuber? What?
to embrace a good
Yeah, where was anime on that list too? We always know anime was like a long-term unattractive one too.
thing, then click the link in the description or head over to manukora.com/Sydney for $25 off when you buy a starter kit. After a huge amount of pushback, Wheeler followed up with a few additional posts, including another
That's the thing. Honey is good in general. I love honey, but I would just say that paying $60 for a small jar isn't going to get you much different than normal honey.
where a woman wrote, "Women don't dislike video games because they're geeky. We dislike them because they're antisocial and consumption
Yeah, that was a pretty long ad, yeah.
based. Like if a woman said TikTok or online shopping was her hobby. Hobbies should include actually doing, making, or learning something."
Well, I think you can get good achievements in a game, but also a lot of games are social nowadays. There's like huge social aspects for a lot of people, but it also can be calming. I think the only problem to worry about gaming as a hobby if someone's rage knuckling all the time. Like if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend who throws their keyboard, then yeah, you have a problem.
Last time I checked, gaming is doing something? What is this? What am I even reading here? Doubling down even further, Wheeler also wrote
You create gains, guys! Sports creates gains! Stop flexing.
that video games are sedentary, consumptive, fantasy steeped in immorality that have serious negative real-world side
This
effects.
is like saying also reading isn't a hobby. Like finishing the book isn't an achievement. I find this just very picky because reading is a hobby too.
On the men who play them. This tweet was
To
very
be fair, I've seen some dude bro podcasters trying to say that reading isn't a hobby either, and I'm like, I don't get it.
long, so I'm just going to summarize the generality of it, which was that video games are a net negative on society based on the fact that they reportedly lead to aggressive behavior, desensitization to violence, anxiety, mood disorders, and so on and so forth. She also asserts
So
that
does
women are attracted to
the news. Technically, the news can desensitize you to violence because they show so much of it nowadays. So
men based on a man's ability to protect, provide, produce, and procreate. Hobbies that illustrate that ability are attractive to women. Hobbies
That'd be
that do
great.
not are
I know
not.
a lot of girls who have a tracking app that tracks your books, and yeah, it does give you achievements and stuff. I know a lot of girls just love seeing them up on the shelves. It's like collecting card games and stuff like that, where you see them all up on your shelf. Girls are the same with books. Like, I met a lot of groups where it's just like a beautiful bookshelf, complete as like chef's kiss.
Not to be a jerk, at least not intentionally, but isn't
Yeah, she's like some traditionalist person. We're going to say conservative because people will get in there, but like a traditionalist. Men need to protect women, and they can't do it if they play the video games.
reading sedentary? And isn't buying random female
Exactly what I
crap for
thought.
your house consumptive? Do you want to go and have a conversation with the immoral smut-reading ladies over on Book Talk? Would you like to have
No, because I don't give a damn. But yeah, I think overconsumption is your only real problem. You don't want to spend more than you earn, but like realistically, what is life but to have the things you have, enjoy the family you have, and enjoy your time on Earth? What is the point? Like, otherwise, as long as you don't like go into debt, beat up some person for a video game, who cares? Like, it's not that serious.
I really don't mean to be so sarcastic about all of this. It just really irritates me. Of course,
Yeah.
the icing on the cake here is the...
That's what I hate. I hate that we keep going back around. Like, when I was a kid, there was tons of anti-gamers, then it became normalized, and now it's going back around to people hating on gaming again. It's annoying.
A live stream that Wheeler decided to make about this topic, addressing the blowback that she'd received and saying that lots of
Exactly.
people were unkind to her about it and she didn't like that, which honestly, like, yeah, fair enough. This video is really long, and she burns through
Location to try. Aww. We can find one online or something.
a lot of points
maybe?
very quickly, and we don't have time to unpack them.
Yep.
But I overall felt really...
That's the thing, we end up going back and having the same conversations. It was like, did you see the conversation of gatekeeping women out of gaming was coming back around again? And I was like, dude, Gamergate was like less than 10 years ago or whatever. Must we repeat every fucking conversation?
irritated watching Wheeler's live stream, and my takeaway was just generally, tell me you've never played video games without telling me you've never played video games. She again brought up that
Don't
it
make
makes
me lick
people
the
more
mic.
desensitized and prone
I'll
to
do it.
violence because apparently we're resurrecting 90s talking
Hi, monster.
points. I don't know. I thought we were over this. Look, I don't know Liz personally, and so I don't want anyone to perceive this as me attacking her because she seems like a nice lady, but I do find...
I smell grift. That's what I smell from that lady. I don't know if she's nice or mean or whatever. I just smell grift. She be grifting.
Her opinion and this extended opinion really frustrating. I think there's a trend on the right side of politics where some conservatives in particular like to fully reject and stomp on really important cultural and entertainment-based mediums. And even if the intention behind
That Joel is cursed. Holy shit, that scared me, bro. And yeah, I looked and our goal is 369. I remember now. I don't know why I haven't changed back to from follower, but yeah, but our sub goal is 369 because QQ number.
that is a noble one, I
We're
still
we're
think
at
it comes
355.
across as really controlling and fun.
I don't know why it keeps breaking. I may need to update my audio, like drive or something.
Listen, even people with daddy issues don't want to be parented this hard. I mean, they do want something hard, but it's not parenting.
Gotta have a random dick joke in there.
All of this to say, in the long run, I don't think it's very helpful, and I'm sure some of you will disagree with that, and that's okay. Feel free to scream at me in the comments.
No! No!
Anyway, about
Very wholesome. Read Berserk. It's good. You'll love
later,
it.
another video popped up where a woman called Bex from the radio show 102 Philly was similarly articulating why she doesn't like men playing video games. She said that it was lazy and generally unproductive.
But the whole gaming thing,
What's the problem? Jacqueline has this big problem too.
I think when a lot of people think of gaming, they just think of the most extreme gamer guy, you know what I mean? He doesn't wipe his own ass, he rages out and he doesn't work or something. They think of the most extreme problem. But most gamers just game very normally.
Because
it's just lazy. It feels like unless you're getting paid, and there's a line, right? Like it's cool if you want to do it every so often, but to me, I'm like, go educate, like go do something productive.
but what is the problem? Like, you know, Jacqueline has a big problem with it too. Whenever she hears the PlayStation start up, like I gotta
Here
hear
we
the
go.
huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
But if I were to just have TV on, you'd be on TikTok as it is, not
Because
paying
it's
attention.
not that-
So why does it bother you?
Because it's not the distraction of me.
That's the thing. He has a job, obviously. I don't have the problem. If you go to work, you're not lazy, in my opinion. As soon as you go to work to support your life, you're not lazy. The end. He should be able to spend his personal time however he likes in that sense, you know? It's not hurting anyone, why can't he?
Being on TikTok
Unless he's ignoring his kids and watching them, like, starve in the corner. Like, who cares?
and us watching too. It's what you could be doing with that time.
There it is, and that's it. I knew it.
It's
I knew
what
it.
you could-
You women want to task us so bad
no.
that you're so pissed
No,
that we're taking
no,
time
no.
from doing something.
No.
Wait a minute, you're enjoying things? You have time to do this video
see,
game?
here's the thing
Ah,
is-
here's all the things you
But
could be
here's
doing.
the thing, you're enjoying it, but you could also be planning something nice for us. You know, like
Like I mentioned, this is not the first time
I would say, like, some people do get pissed because they may have no free time and their spouse has all the free time, and that can annoy them. So that's something, yeah, that we really do need to find out the source of the problem. But yeah, some people just petty, that's for sure.
that this type of criticism has
Survival of the fittest. What the fuck?
come up. A couple
Yeah.
years ago, 3 more women got a lot of heat online for making fun of men who game, with one of the women even suggesting there's a correlation between gaming and the being bad in the bedroom or having small male genitalia.
How does gaming have anything to do with pee-pee size? If anything, shouldn't it make your hand-eye coordination better to be better at sex? When you think of it, if it's skill-based.
Honest with you, not if I think of the top 10 best dicks I've ever had, they didn't play video games. So I'm convinced video games are for mediocre
Well,
dicks.
I grew up as a gamer, so it was okay with it. That was quite all right with me. I got excited
I don't know
too.
what grown man is spending that much time playing video
There's
games.
a lot of grown men spending a lot of time.
See, she doesn't care.
I don't think that
bullshit. A lot.
I don't think that you could be a great partner or a great lover as a grown man spending time playing video games.
If you're like
This is such a weird statement. Do you always judge the appropriateness of a hobby based on man pickles and their performance? Is this a legitimate metric?
See, everything comes back to penises with everyone.
Why
What the
are
fuck?
people like this? I mean it. Put me in the cannon and launch me to Jupiter. So I have a very vested interest in this topic, both as a woman and as a person who plays video games. So I do feel that it is pretty important to come to the defense of male gamers, and I guess just really any gamer in general. Because if the criticisms that I've so far highlighted in this video are anything to go by, I think people's perceptions of this industry and those who enjoy games are completely off base. And I think it's generally wild to say that gaming is not a hobby, and if it is, it's one that's overall unattractive to women. Because I would argue, in many, many cases, that is not true. I mean, first and foremost, the gaming industry as a whole has changed dramatically over the last few decades, and video games have accelerated in scale and quality during that time too. Rather than games appealing to a small portion of people, now anyone anywhere can play them, which is why the industry has become so enormous. There are so many different stories being told, so many different ideas being explored, and let's remember, importantly, that the amount of women playing games has also grown more and is continuing to do so.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Women find attractive mutual interests a lot of the time and passion. So I think most guys that game want someone who games. So if you just need to find the right person.
no, Animal Crossing and The Sims don't count as gaming. Please stop this. Point.
Huh? Wait, what?
And no, Animal Crossing and The Sims don't count as gaming. Please stop this.
I hope she's kidding. Because they both count as gaming because they're games. Whoa.
The amount of women playing games has also grown more and is continuing to do so. And no, Animal Crossing and The Sims don't count as gaming. Please stop this.
I do know a lot. She may be saying that because a lot of guys say that Animal Crossing, that's what they're playing and not all other games. She may be iterating that. But I would say all games are valid. All games are just valid. Who cares if it's the most intense gaming ever? Because some motherfucker tries to tell me that JRPGs and RPGs aren't real gaming. So I'm not a gamer. So I don't take that elitist bullshit. If it's a game, it's gaming.
Point being, video games themselves and the gamers who play them come in all forms, and I don't think it's fair to tar everyone with the same brush.
Exactly.
With that said, I
would say some are more casual and some are more, intense, but that's about it,
do understand why some people, being the
Exactly.
operative word,
You should be able to enjoy a variety game and not people have jump down your throat and be like, that's not gaming.
gaming to be an unattractive hobby, and I think there's a number of reasons for that. Number one, when most of us millennials were growing up, which is what our friend Liz Wheeler is, we were only really then starting to see sort of a shift in the way that
My
people
grandma's
viewed
a
men and
gamer.
video games.
Technically, it is a game. It's also a puzzle game, so it's a multifaceted game. Yes, it is a game. You could put it under mobile gaming. But yes, my grandma is a gamer. She loves some solitaire, Candy Crush, Sudoku. Well, technically, all those things are also based on the original games. Same with virtual chess. Is virtual chess a game? Yes. So technically, yes. Because it's also the idea that gaming as a word comes from tabletop gaming originally. Ooh. So yeah, technically, yes.
Until this point, I
Yes,
think it's
it's
fair to say
regular
that
chess, it's
gamers were
online
largely
chess.
associated with the basement-dwelling dorks who played World of Warcraft from dawn until dusk. And whether that view is true or not, whether it's fair or not, that's what was portrayed predominantly in media, entertainment, and by all the kids, all those boys that we went to high school.
I would say Candy Crush is a very casual game. Is it by technicality gaming? Yeah.
I can actually testify to this because I fully remember my older brother sitting in the office all day playing WoW. And sometimes painting Warhammer. I think he still paints Warhammer. To be completely fair to my brother, because, you know, he will probably watch this video, he is in fact the reason why I like gaming at all. And I also remember sitting next to him, watching him play Spyro, because little sister. Now that I'm thinking about it, I also remember...
See, I was the sibling where my little sister sat next to me watching games because she didn't have like the hand-eye coordination. My older sisters threw remotes at my head, but like I would play games for her. Like she would sit with me while I played Final Fantasy X because she couldn't do it alone. So it's stuff like that.
Nerd friends. So really love aging myself there. Anyway, this type of visual and this messaging has definitely been ingrained in a lot of us because it's also what we were exposed to in pop culture. And it's probably why a bunch of elder millennials and people who are older than elder millennials especially view gamers through this lens. Actually, hilariously, when I was researching for this video, I found out that the attractiveness of male gamers and how much they game is still being studied because they guess this is a stereotype that never dies. The second reason, and I think this is more applicable across the board, is it is unattractive to come home to your man sitting on his butt all day playing video games. On the weekends, gaming. All day, gaming. Every single weekend, gaming. Can't pull himself away for long enough to spend time with you or to be a father or a husband or whatever. When it becomes an addiction that consumes you, yes, that is a problem, and that is unattractive. And
I agree with this, because I have met some guys where they literally throw baby tantrums when you ask them to get off the game, and you're just like even if you have to go out or something, like having to sit there as one of your friends try and pull a man off a video game because everyone's late for a wedding is fucking horrendous, and he just throws a tantrum like he's about to fucking throw his ass to the ground.
this is the primary criticism that I find online when it comes to men and video games.
When my husband and I first got married, he was addicted to video games. So if your spouse is addicted to video games or sports or anything, listen to this.
But the thing is, if your man or a man doesn't have a gaming addiction, then what precisely is unattractive about this interest? At least in my experience, the women that I have come into contact with or that I'm friends with or that are in my family and whatever don't really view a man's interest in video games as a good or bad thing. What's most important is how he balances his gaming with his life and its many obligations. For example, back in 2020, a TikToker called Alyssa Nguyen actually had to come out and clarify that her gamer husband did indeed take care of her and her kids after she began uploading compilations of her bringing him his nightly dinners. She wrote, "He does all his chores, daddy duties, and husband duties before getting on." One person even asked Nguyen if she was happy with the amount of time her husband gamed. Nguyen responded, "It doesn't bother me at all. He plays
Well, I guess it would kind of look like that all he does, but I find it so funny people read so deep into like some short clips of her bringing him his dinner.
Couple hours a night after he gets home from a long shift." And honestly, I think this comment crystallizes a broader point. A lot of people, not only men, use video games as a way to alleviate anxiety, to decompress, to de-stress after a long day or a long week or whatever the case may be.
And this is what I meant when I'm saying like you should be able to be alone as a couple. Everyone, especially if someone has a stressful job, should have time to decompress from their day. If you have a stressful job, you should have a moment because you're gonna snap if you don't. Even if you have responsibilities at home, everyone should have time to de-stress.
I can actually personally relate to this, and I've actually said this in other videos, where I find nothing more enjoyable after a particularly stressful day than jumping into whatever game I'm playing and just like hacking monsters to death. Because it's cathartic and it stops me from committing murder. That is a joke, Mr. FBI man. I am making a joke. Jokes aside, in addition to being cathartic, it is a good form of escapism. I watched one particular TikTok where a guy was describing escapism in video games as a bad thing, using it as an indicator of depression or a person who hates their life, and that very well might be the case sometimes. This just reiterates that men yearn for the mines. But again, why do people frown?
Oh, true. But I do agree with the sense that you need to be aware of, do you just enjoy it or if you're using it for a coping mechanism? But I think that's true with everything. You need to be aware of why you're kind of doing stuff.
On this
Same
type
with
of
drinking.
escapism, but not when it comes in the form of books or films or television shows. I genuinely feel like there's such an unfair double standard when it comes to gaming that isn't equally applied to other entertainment mediums. Yeah, I'm gonna need you all to stop that. In my opinion,
I don't know.
the
I feel
bottom
like
line-
if you're too into anything, everyone judges you so hard. Because comic book nerds, tabletop nerds, medieval history nerds, they all get kind of like ragged on like this. If you're too passionate about anything, people really don't like it.
line here is that gaming is, in fact, a legitimate hobby. And I will argue till I am blue in the face with whoever I need to argue with, that many of us ladies would much rather a guy who games in moderation than one who is down at the bar or at the club every single weekend getting drunk. If you are a man and you enjoy video
Preach.
games, that does
I do
not
agree
make
with
you
that.
unattractive. And frankly, it can actually be a really nice opportunity for bonding with your spouse or girlfriend. And I say
Exactly.
this
That's why you should never care what people say. Because, yeah, you're going to get judged no matter what. You just should try and
someone
do
who
your best
frickin'
not
loves
to be an
couch
asshole.
co-ops. Like, I recently played the Untitled Goose Game, and it was unironically a lot of fun.
enjoy your
I have to
life.
stay away from the platformers though, because I just let everyone down. People who make the claim that gaming is antisocial and will turn men into murder factories genuinely don't seem to understand the nature of gaming and how community-based and collaborative it often is these days. A lot of modern games have a ton of multiplayer features, and it allows you to do, like, you know, the teamwork. In a time where people are super disconnected, the game
I would really say that, yeah, gaming has transformed for a lot of people, not particularly for me. I do enjoy some social gaming, but it's not my favorite. For a lot of people, gaming is the major social aspect of their life. That's when they get most of their socializing.
gaming world is actually pretty great at helping people make friends and create communities. I'll say as well that there are apparently a bunch of other measurable benefits to playing games, like improvements to cognitive functioning, problem solving, impulse control, and so on and so forth, but I don't want to get into it, so I don't know, I guess I'll link some of these in the description.
It can. Used in the right amount. Everything is about balance, guys. It's the same with, like, screen time, everything. That's why I have bad eyesight, because I don't understand balance.
And you can read them in your own time. There are definitely way more things to add about this specific topic, but the one that I want to leave you with, the last thought that I have here, is that I definitely think that there is an online trend where people can't stand to see men doing things that make them happy.
That's right. I don't like platformers because they made me rage quit. It makes me full of anger and I become a little kettle about to explode.
Men have video games and sports. What do women have?
I actually see this a lot on Twitter, but with relation to women, where people will post a video of women just doing something fun and silly and goofy and enjoying themselves, and then this onslaught of comments and responses are mad that the women are having fun. I see that a lot here with this issue, and I absolutely
This does happen a lot, sadly.
hate it when people do it to both of the sexes. Just shh. Let people enjoy things. Personally, I'm really glad that gaming has become such a positive outlet for so many people. And as far as unattractive interests go, I
Mag
think
is correct. Sports used to be the social gaming that used away time.
it's worth remembering that
If
when
you're
it comes
having
to
fun,
hobbies
stop. No, shut up.
and relationships, Any hobby
No.
can become an obstacle, much in the same way that it can also be an asset. If you enjoy something or have a hobby or have a special interest that gets in between you and somebody else, or it is an all-consuming thing that pushes everybody out of your life, well, yeah, I mean, that's a problem. But if you can take an interest or a hobby or a thing that you love and share it with somebody else in an engaging way, or in a way for yourself that passes time but doesn't fill it, I think that's really positive, and honestly, I think that's really all any of us actually want. In the end, if gaming is a thing that you can share with your wife or girlfriend, a thing that you can use to decompress, or even something that has helped you build a really strong community with friendships and positive experiences, no woman in their right mind would...
I think this really connects into that a lot of people don't respect hobbies unless they make money. People don't respect things ever. Money is, again, the root of all evil. But I don't know, I see that a lot.
Consider that a problem. And if they do, I think that says much more about that woman than the gamer himself. Now, on that note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder, check out my new Quora using the link in the description. I unironically love this honey, so I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, you can, just most people don't. So unless you are physically making money, they don't respect you playing, kind of thing. That's kind of the point there. For a lot of people, like, that's because people only respect monies. But I agree, I became more social because of game, not less, because I would not have been social unless it was for multiplayer games.
Sponsorship, and I hope you guys love it as well if you decide to give it a crack. Now I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Is gaming, in fact, unattractive? Are you one of these ladies who just thinks, yuck, I'm not interested, I'm not about this is terrible? Are you a guy who thinks it's unattractive and terrible? Are you somebody who really likes gaming and likes to share that with your loved ones? Are you somebody who maybe is on the addiction side of things and you can see how bad and damaging all of this can be? Do you think that the commentary around gaming is fair? Is it unfair? And what do you generally...
That is exactly the thing I say with, I like sports, but do you bet on games? It's like, technically playing sports or watching sports is almost is in the same category. Watching sports can be a hobby. You don't actually get anything from it. And that's exactly the same example I make. Not everything has to get you something in return.
Make of this issue overall. As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, as well as leaving this video a like and a comment, because I do read the majority of them. I really like hearing your feedback and you guys make me laugh. Of course, if you have any video suggestions or video ideas, feel free to let me know, because I do have a running list of those. And as always, I will see you wonderful, pretty people in the next video.
It's interesting. Okay, that was far more calmer than I've seen other people take this, so I'm glad. That was like a very well actually pointed out back and forwards on this, because, you know, I'm so sick of the internet being so extreme sometimes. But yeah, and I would agree. Again, I think most hobbies, unless they're illegal, are fine, as long as they're not super extreme. You know what I mean? To try the ADHD thing where I have a game in the corner and we're watching something at the same time, because that is how I do it when I'm off stream. And I was like wondering what we should watch when we attempt it. That won't get us in trouble. And I was like, yeah, I was just like, I want to try it just for ADHD lols, you know, so we can look like we're just dirt brains. And then we can do it with other games too. Subway Surfers. Yeah, like when we play Yu-Gi-Oh, we'll have Yu-Gi-Oh watching down the bottom or something. I thought it would be funny.